Hi students, I am Bhuvaneswari, belongs to CSE department. I am going to teaching you about Python programming. So before we get into that, let's have an intro of what do you mean by a computer. C-O-M-P-U-T-E-R. Anybody know the expansion of computer? It's nothing but commonly operated machine, particularly useful for technical and educational research. Computer is a fast electronic machine that accepts the input data, processes the data, stores and controls the data, and produces the resultant data. So it's an electronic machine that manipulates the data based on the number of instructions you are giving. So this computer is a combination of both hardware and software. So hardware is nothing but all the visible components of the system are called hardware, and the software is the collection of programs. What do you mean by a program? Collection of instructions. What is the instruction? It's a combination of both opcode and operand. So these collection of programs can be written as a software. So this software can be classified into both application software and system software. As the name implies, this application software is particularly useful for some specific application to be solved. And then system software, as the name implies, the software which is used for the system routines. The best example for system software is operating system. Operating system is a program which is mainly need for the system to boot. So this is the basics of a computer, and there is one term called translator. Translator is a program that converts a source program into object program. There are two types in that: compiler and interpreter. So this compiler is a translator that converts a source program into object program as a whole program, and then interpreter is it also converts a source program into object program, but it converts a line by line. Python is such type of interpreter which converts a source program into object program as the line by line execution. Now, what is a Python? Python is an open source, object oriented, high level language as a powerful high level language. So what do you mean by open source? It's easily get from the net as the no cost. So what are all the features of Python? There is an interesting story beyond the name Python. There is a comedy series that was broadcasted at the BBC at the year of 1990s. That name is Monty Python's Flying Circus. The inventor of Python is Guido van Rossum at the year of 1990s at Netherlands. So he got the name Pythons from this Monty Python's Flying Circus is a comedy series broadcasted by the BBC. So that is the interesting story beyond that name Pythons. Okay, now what are all the features of Python? So first one, it's easy to understand. The coding and all very simple, and no the like a seat, no there are no large number of statements are there. It's a simple and easy, and few lines of coding is enough to explain a Python program. Easy to understand. It's a portable, stable, object oriented. So object oriented means like a class, encapsulation, polymorphism and objects, everything is possible in the Python programming also. All the object oriented concepts are included in our Python. So these are all the features of Python. Then the next topic is how we can use the variables in Python. So variables, what do you mean by a variable first? Variable is a reserved memory location for the data to be processed. In other words, it gives the data to the system to work on, to execute on. So variable is a reserved memory location for the variables, for the values. So if we can name a variable in Python programming like a is equal to some value and like AA. So any alphabets we can give, ABC, any other value we can give. So in this way we can name a variables. Then what are the types in variables? So there are many features available in that variable. First, number 1, concatenate the variable. Number 2, local and global variable. Redeclare. Swap. Delete. So these are all the features in Python variables. First one is concatenate. We can concatenate both the string and number together. For example, A is equal to 0 and B is equal to some string. So we can concatenate A, we can concatenate both number and string together. That is the plus point in your concatenation variables in Python. Second one is a local and global variable. So we need to use the keyword as a global. For entire program, the variable value will be set. That is called a global variable. In other words, in the particular function, we need a local variable. So the value of variable will exist during the function only. When the function ends, the value will be vanished. Third one is redeclare a variable. During a same program, initial of the program, we can give some, for example, C is equal to 1 value. During the same program, we can redeclare the C variable as is equal to welcome. So as the output, it will print both the values. So for the same program, for the same variable, we can redeclare and use in a Python program. And then swapping of two variables. So by the same line, we can swap two variables. Only one line is enough to swap the two values of a variables. Like A is equal to B, B is equal to E. So this is called a swapping of two variables. That is, by the single line, we can exchange the values of A and B with the B and A. So by output, we can get the exchanging of two variables, a swapping of two variable values within the same program. So this is the number one advantage in Python. By the single line, we can swap two variables, not like C and Java. And the last one is a delete. So by using a keyword del, we can delete a particular variable. So after that, if you are using a print B, then it will give a type error. So for example, we can give a B is equal to data, and we can give del B. After that, print B. It will give a type error because in the next line itself we deleted the variable B. That is, that variable will be, the memory location will be reserved based on that variable. If you are giving a del B, then the memory location will be cleared for some other variable for the data. And then next we will go for the operators. These are all the basics for the Python programming. So we go for the operators. What are the Python operators available? So operator is nothing but it's an which is mainly used for the arithmetic and logical calculations. The operand is nothing but in which the operator can be used on the operands. What are all the type of operators available? First one is arithmetic. Number 2, logical. Number 3, comparison. Number 4, bitwise. Number 5, special operators. Okay, what are the type of operators here? The arithmetic operators, logical, comparison, bitwise, and special operators. So what do you mean by arithmetic operators? As the name implies, the operators which are used for the arithmetic calculation like add, sub, mul, and div. What do you mean by logical? It's a comparison, that is simply a logical and a logical or. If both statements are true, then the logical and will be true. If any one of the statement is true, then it is true, is called a logical or. And then comparison is nothing but we are comparing a source operand 1 value with the operand 2 value, either it may be greater than, less than, or equivalent to. Bitwise operator is nothing but every bit by bit we are calculating the operators and the operands. And there are two special operators in Python. Number one, identity operator. Number one, identity. Number two, membership. These two are very interesting, that is exclusively in Python programming. Identity operator is nothing but yes or is not. Membership is in or not in. This is special in this programming language. Identity operator x is equal to is or is not, and membership is in and not in. For example, in the identity operator, x1 is equal to, we are giving 1, 2, 3, and y1 is equal to 2, 3, 4. Here we can check the x1 and y1 like x1 is y1. So it will give either true or false based on the condition. Now the x1 is 1, 2, 3 and y1 is 2, 3, 4. We are checking the operator is x is equivalent to y1. It will give the value as false because two distinct values are there. And then membership operator, there are two things, two types, in, not in. For example, x is equal to hello, y is equal to world. We are giving two strings together and then we are checking either x is in y or not. So we are checking print x in y. So it will give x in y, any word repeated from x to y. So this print line will give a false value because two distinct values are there. Suppose I am giving h word, then it will give a true value. So these are all the special operators which are presented in the Python programming. It's very easy and understandable one. Thank you.